What seems like a vocally modest and melodically uncomplicated ballad that begins Mikaya Bahailu's classic Shemametew is perhaps the best kind of subversion of one's expectations one can ask of a musical album. This is not to critique the integrity of Nafakeng, but with an album that features certified bangers like Lantasil, Sabab, Lemamile, and a personal favorite of mine, Ataska Dedeng, the first track inadvertently becomes immediately overshadowed. Ballads and your run-of-the-mill love songs are the most popular topics among Ethiopian songs, in the same way that romance films are probably the most popular genre in Ethiopian films writ large, perhaps second only to patriotic songs about Ethiopia herself or songs called Tizata, which we also have a good amount of. And ever true to the Ethiopian pop song rite of passage, Mikaya Bahailu delivers an 11-track album about the elation of romantic love, as well as its utter disappointment. The fact that she does this to beats that you can get lost to on a 2000s dance floor, for example, Yeni No, and to slow jams that you add to the In Your Feelings playlist, for example, Zore Metao. Is a testament to both the fiery ups and downs of Eros and her range amid topical similarity. But what sets Shemametew apart for me is not only the tragedy that is Mikaya's own story, but also the fact that she was a once-in-a-generation vocalist that's, I argue, on par with Asterawak. Attempting to hit the whistle notes that she delivers in track 5, Honeling, is a challenge I love to fail at, particularly when I'm alone in my car driving to God knows where. Her wails on Sabab, however, at about 3.5 minutes in, has to be my favorite demonstrations of just how her voice is an instrument of its own. Ad-libs are more like soliloquies than they are mere supplements to a song that you kind of just throw in for fun. It's not like she's filling space in what would today be considered, long songs. Sabab runs about like 7.5 minutes in, where, your general pop songs now is like 3 minutes. It can sometimes even be 2 minutes. So 7 minutes is like Justin Timberlake level long, but it's as if she's going sort of toe to toe with the piano's melodies, sort of challenging it to reach the octaves of her own heaven-sent voice. And we have yet to even touch on the sumptuousness of her lyrics, right? One can only imagine the kinds of classics she would have produced today were her life not cut tragically short. But coming back to this album again and again, 19 years after its 2007 release, I find my ears sort of pricking at minute details I've heretofore missed. At first, it was the African drum beat sort of running through the bed of the track in the beginning of track 6, Lemamile, that sort of begins about 44 seconds in. So here, snug in the middle of the album, Mikaya builds up the tension of the song for a full 40 seconds, almost a minute, before depositing us at the song's first high point and chorus at the 1.5 minute mark. Or even being re-amazed at the vocal feat that is track 9, Daliling. The breath control that the 2nd minute mark required could not but have left her breathless. I just imagine her in the studio refusing to do another take after a performance that could qualify, at least for me, as an anaerobic exercise. My words could only really do so much in capturing and telling even a small piece of the beauty of this album, but where my words fail is an opportunity to try your hand at the ineffability of this once-in-a-lifetime album. I just hope to one day find a vinyl record of this classic, even though the existence of such a thing is debatable, but at this point I'd be just as happy with a CD, which I'm sure exists somewhere, probably not anywhere in the contiguous United States. Maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I know for sure I'm not gonna find a vinyl record of this, so I'll just put that dream to rest. But a CD or even a cassette, cassettes are so much more vintage, but a cassette or a DVD would, or a CD, I could probably find that, track that down somewhere. But anyway, that is my little take on this classic album that I find myself coming back to at least 3 to 4 times a year. And when I say coming back to, I don't mean just like sort of listening, but I mean really listening to the full album like in one sitting for like a week. Like that, it's one of those albums that I just know I can come back to and not get sick of, and listen to each song and each track in order, out of order. Like it's just every song in there has its own little quirk that I love about it. And so I just imagine like what she would have created if she, you know, was still alive, and what kind of heights she would have reached. Like I feel like the discourse would be who's better, Astrid or Mikaya. Was that too much? Maybe that was too much. Maybe I should chill. But I really feel like that would have been our big two. That would have been our Kendrick Drake. You know what I mean? That would have been who's the better lyricist, who's the better vocalist, who's the better, you know, whistle note singer. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. This video is based on the Substack article that I wrote about this like 2 months ago. So